Hey, everybody, Thomas here. It's been a while since I've done a proper video. Uh, this house build has been rough. There's no lie about it. It's been probably one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life because the amount of money and time that we put into this and then getting stuck up on little things that we essentially couldn't move forward on. And it was very difficult there for a while. We had some good progress all the way through Christmas, and then things just kind of fell off. We couldn't get folks to come back out here, and we couldn't get uh, you electrical figured out and everything. Tried to reach out and find electricians to help me in the area, and it just no one could ever find time to help us out because it was such a weird job. So, luckily, I have a fantastic father-in-law, and he came down here, and we, for 4 days, went through and rewired about half the house. So, without his help, I would be screwed because I was at a mental, emotional, physical block. I couldn't get past it, and I was just stressed out. And just the amount of money we've been spending on this, and just I'm hoping to move into this house before I move out of Tennessee. When I'm stationed here in Tennessee, my orders are only for 2 years, and it's just getting stressful because the first year is almost done, and we are still not moved into this house. But we've got through the electrical, and now it's quote unquote grunt work, and I can do grunt work all day. And I will say this, I feel very confident with electrical now. Because my father-in-law, the way that he shows me things, he teaches me, and then we both kind of work on it together and everything, but in separate ways. Also, we did a lot of learning with the kids and everything. So Evie and Tommy, their knowledge of wiring has exceeded like what my own knowledge was probably at the age of 30. They are pretty damn good now. But again, that was, I've done electrical before. It's easy when you are doing the initial run, like when you're doing like your own layout from the get-go. That's easy to do. It's hard when you start working on someone else's work and then someone else's work. Trying to rework stuff and try to figure out where everything was, that was the challenging part. And that's why we had to rewire a whole lot of stuff here in this vaulted room area. So we're going to do a little walkthrough, show you what we have going on here, what I have just finished today, what I finished last week, and what we're going to be doing here in the upcoming weeks and everything, because I have about 10 days off. The next 10 days, today was day number 1, which I count as a weekend. It's a Saturday, but we were able to knock out probably about a good 7 hours of work in the house today. All right, let me flip this around. Okay, so this is the living room. We were able to get all the lights up and make sure all the circuits work. My daughter helped me do up a lot of the actual light switches. My son did a lot of the outlets. And then also I had the kids up in the overhead, and we were rewiring everything up in the overhead. Our power panel, which is, you can kind of see it. Anyways, it's way back over there. We have all but 4 breakers used on the power panel. We did a lot of home run pulls and everything. So there are certain things within the house that have their own home run, such as the fridge, the dishwasher, the microwave, and then like the electric induction cooktop thing I'm going to be using, some stuff like that. They've got their own home runs throughout the house. Then we have lighting circuits, of course, outlet circuits, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, again, big shout out to my father-in-law. He really helped me out a ton. All right, let's go through what we did here. So we added all these lights, and you'll see there's kind of a different spacing here. It's hard to see, but there is a little light or a little wire that pulls down from there. We are going to be putting a kind of like a chandelier type thing that I'm going to be making. I've got a piece of mesquite. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but we'll have a hanging light there in the middle, and where all this junk is here, there will be an island there. So that's the light that will be above the island, and it's equidistant from all the other 4 lights. The lights over on this side, again, there is a hanging down little portion there too. that it's going to be for a little chandelier, but these lights are over top of the dining room. And Evie, she decided what was going to be what. So the first light is the dining room light, and then the second light will be for the chandelier. So yeah, mostly it was this section of the house that we had to redo. Everything that we had some breaks and stuff here in the ceiling, but what we did is we did junction box on that side, and then we have junction box on this side, and there's nothing overhead that has any like wire nuts or anything like that. Everything in the overhead section here in the living room where we vaulted it are home runs. So there's no break in the electrical anywhere except for on that side and the side behind me. So if I ever had to do any work on it, we could get up in the attic and work on that. Hopefully I'll never have to do that, but it's just a peace of mind, because if there was something in the middle of this room and say something backed out over time to fix that, I would essentially have to be taking down the ceiling. I don't want to do that. Where you see my lines here, that's where the they're essentially like 1.5 by 6s will be there. Those go up to the beam overhead. The beam overhead drilled through that. Again, that's a 6 by 14 beam, I believe. It's either 12 or 14. I can't remember. I measured the other day, and the length of the drill bit that I had could barely get through it, but it got through it. We will have essentially where that line's coming down, one of those big ass fans up there. The bay window and all the sheetrock here in the living room is just about done. I will have to do the vaulted area over here. I've got to put sheetrock up over there. But on the opposing side over here, Cherie has allowed me to do that in wood so that we can mount deer heads or whatever up there. So that'll be interesting, and that's going to be a great tie-in, wood up there to the wood on the walls going into the hallway. But again, the theme of this is like rustic farmhouse, if you will. Very excited to get all this together. The fireplace, we will have a mantle. There will be wood above there. You only see brick down below, and eventually we will stone that in as well, using stones that my wife finds all over the place. Insulation, Tommy's been doing great at getting up all the insulation. We still have a few open areas. I've got to tuck some of my wires and stuff into the boxes and put lids on them. But Tommy's been doing really well at getting up there, doing those insulation pieces. He's done this side as well. He left me a little opening to get up in there. Currently, that's the only way into the attic that I have. Eventually, I'm going to have to put a access point on the outside of the house coming in. I don't really want an entry point anywhere else inside the house. We've got a metal roof on top of the roof that was on there, so chances of it leaking, knock on wood, aren't that high. But yeah, there is that. You will see there's also a pink line up there. That is some 10-3 wire that runs out to the well house. And we're going to talk about the well and the complete disappointment there, but I'm not going to spoil it right now. I'll just let you know that it was a complete disappointment. And that one hurt. That one hurt a lot. Another mental blow. But again, getting up all the drywall was huge. We did that just this week. We were able to get up the drywall pieces each night. Tommy or Evie would come out here, and the goal was, the first night we did 2 pieces there. The second night we did the 4 easy pieces there. The third night we only got these 2 pieces because we had to rewire. That switch there was actually like over about here, and it didn't make sense. Plus we want to put a piece of furniture here, it's a black walnut, I don't know what you call it, like stand-up piece of furniture that holds games and stuff for the kids, like board games and whatnot. But we moved that over, and that took a little bit of time because we had to rewire a few things. And yeah, so that one was, like I said, the third night. The fourth night, I worked on that corner over there. And then the fifth night, which was on Friday, I think, or maybe it might have been Thursday. Anyways, I started on either Sunday or Monday, I can't remember, was working that little corner there. Today, which is Saturday, my youngest boy Daniel and I, we had a assembly line going, if you will. We cut up all the boards. They're already measured to the correct size for the overhead, the same type of spacing what we have on this side to make sure my lines all match up. We have all those measured, and then we went through and we primed everything. So I would pour paint onto the board. He would use the big brush to kind of get it spread out. I would use a small brush to do all the fine touch-ups and stuff like that. But we painted up we cut 38 pieces, and then we primed 38 pieces that are kind of all over the place. So again, kids have been fully engaged into this project. The hallway, again, all lights are working, which is fantastic. We got lights in each of the closets. The our pantries and everything, they're pretty much good to go. Outlets installed and everything. We'll just have to get everything out of there and start doing the floors. Daniel's room, it has been painted, it has been drywalled. All I have to do is trim around the windows, trim around the top and stuff like that, and put flooring. Looks like I got to put some outlets in there. We had to work a few outlets because the outlets on the outside had to actually wire them up so they were able to be used. But again, Dana's room essentially done. Tommy's room also done. This is just the room that we stored all the trim pieces in, which we're not even going to use any of this trim. We might use some of it, but not all of it. Mostly we're going to be doing black walnut trim throughout the house. Some of this trim here we can use in Daniel's room or whatnot, but the intent is everywhere else out in the hallways and stuff like that around these doors, there will be a black walnut, like 1x3 board that goes all the way around everything. Bathroom, oh, this is huge. So we have tile in the bathroom. We still have to go back and grout this. We have tile on the floor, which is done and grouted. We have, again, all the lights working in the bathroom. And yeah, that was huge. So for the longest time, I could not figure out how to get power to this bathroom. And we were like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like looking up in the overhead. It was just a pain in the butt. The switch or the outlet in this bathroom and the outlet in the master bathroom and the outlets outside are all on a GFCI breaker outside, like that's actually in the panel. So there's that. But the lights in here, I was in the switchboard, like in the panel and everything. I could see where it was, but we'll go back over to here. There was a wire out here that was somewhere in this area in the overhead that was disconnected. And that one wire is what prevented me from getting power to that bathroom. And that one was a stump. It just stumped me for a while. I just couldn't find it. But by having someone that knows electrical and everything, we were able to walk through and figure things out. The girls' room, as you can see, we are putting down flooring. The girls' room, everything in here is done. There's trim to do, and I've got trim around this door here, but everything is done. And the girls' bathroom, everything is done. Everything's hooked up, good to go, with the exception of that switch there, which goes to the fan up there. I got a little bit of work to do there. It's not that hard to do, just kind of ran out of time. But that's still, I had that opening up there in the overhead to still get in there and do that. Some trimming here, but again, practically done. So this is huge win. Having the floors in here going down, Shari's been doing that. That's a huge win as well. And then again, once we get the drywall up, I'll get it all mudded, primed, and painted, and we can start getting the floors out to here. We did start doing all the electrical back here. The only electrical that is not working is actually in the bathroom. But again, I've got a few things I'm still working here, but for the most part, I've got lights that I can sit in here and work with, which is awesome. So I don't have to use extension cords and lights anymore. And I'm starting to get up all the insulation in here as well. As you can see, I've got just tons of insulation in here. We will eventually move into this room, but the intention is first to move into the main section of the house, and then I can work on this while we're actually living in here. The bathroom is the only thing that still didn't have power. Our closet back there does have power, but I will work this bathroom again. Not a today thing, not a this next 2 months thing. It's really to focus on the other side of the house, but I do have light in here that I can work with, which is awesome. But again, and everything outside, I have a couple circuits out here I'm going to work with, and I got to, of course, clean this deck off because this has been like where I've been storing all my crap. Yeah, it's been something else. Last night, there were about 20 deer out there in that field. It was awesome just to watch them. We also this is a little tidbit information. We planted, I gotta get the deer off these dang things. We planted a whole lot of trees out here for my wife, and a whole lot of fruit trees and stuff like that. But the deer have been eating the crap out of them, so I gotta take care of that. We'll have to put up the rest of the fencing and everything. But yeah, that is the gist of it. It's just been a lot of work, and I'm doing all this essentially myself. So it takes time, and with the drive to and from work, the day job, and then working here, and then end of school stuff for the kids, and stuff with the church, and trying to see friends and family and stuff like that. It's been a lot. Very, very stressful. But again, big shout out to my father-in-law. That helped me a ton, just being able to get past the mental, physical block of the electrical. I'm in a much better place now that I can get, moving forward. And I'm learning so many new skills. So let's go out here and talk about the disaster that is the well. Okay, so the well, I spent a lot of money to get, we took the roof off, we replumbed everything to and from the house and everything. Everything's 1-inch piping. Long story short, our well cannot support the water need that we need. So we've got to tie into city water. I've got a pole way down there. We've already paid the connection fee and everything. It's $1,200 for that. So I'm like, that was a kick in the pants on top of the $1,000 worth of parts that I have out here. And then then we had to buy it. We bought a new pump and everything because the pump kept on tripping out. The reason the pump kept on tripping out is because it was running out of water. And it was essentially overheating, not shutting off, and then it started shorting out, all sorts of just crappy stuff. Our well is 60, so it's 81 feet deep. We hit water at 63 feet or something like that. Long story short, it's a 4-inch pipe. That's not a lot of volume of water. And then the fill rate, the flow rate is, I don't think it's quite high enough. So long story short, what we're going to do is we're going to have a line running from the well house that will go to the garden, and it will go to the sink. I'm going to do a little valve off the side of the sink and everything. That'll be well water for drinking water, and then the city water will go to everything else. The good thing is by doing that, I can then run an on-demand gas water heater. So there's a plus side, I guess. I don't have to worry about scaling and stuff as much. So I guess that's a plus. But that was an additional $2,000 spent that I really kind of wasn't anticipating on top of the other thing. And like the expenditures per week on this has been stupid. But all the materials are bought. Now it's just literally, it's my labor, my grunt work getting this done. But again, I have learned so many skills. My kids have learned so many skills. My wife, she has learned a whole lot of everything. It's an absolute mess out here because we're just so busy. But I mean, I don't even think I've showed the outside of the house here in a while. Let me show this. I don't know if we can get it's kind of dark. So I took out some trees here. We took out a pecan tree here. Took out a pecan tree there that were over leaning the house or anything. But we have stained everything on the house. So the house has awesome stain. It's got an awesome roof on it. So that's all good. That's all good. We still have to get rid of this giant maple tree here. That tree does make me nervous because it is dying, but we've been slowly taking it back more and more. I'll get that down eventually. I'll have to rent some kind of extend a boom or something like that, and we'll get up there and do that. But yeah, we're trying to get it done as best we can. And as you can see, I do have this big wide open area. This is something, again, I'm not going to do it until I'm done with the dang house. But essentially where King is, there will be a carport that goes onto the side of the house here. We will convert the garage into a playroom for the kids and everything. And I've got a really cool house down the road from here that has an awesome way to convert like a garage door area into an entryway to the house. And I need to get some pictures and stuff of that. But out here, I'm going to put a 30 by 24 carport. On the end of the carport, we'll have a 30 by 12 building for Cherie's outdoor kitchen stuff and deer processing, all that stuff. And then we'll have a section off the backside that'll be like a utility room where I can have the generator and whatnot, and then some storage for the lawnmower and four-wheeler and whatnot. That's it in a nutshell. Very stressful. Rebuilding a house might be sometimes more challenging than building a house, because building a house, at least you're starting with a blank slate. With this one, we knew we had issues when we bought the house. More than anything, we wanted the property. The property here is what is so super important to us. The house is awesome, but it was in bad disrepair. We've had to replace 34 floor joists throughout the floors because of termites. We had to replace half the sill plate around the house. We added on the 600 square foot addition because we needed more room for the entire family. The whole front face of the house here, we had to essentially replace it because of termites and just disrepair. It was just filthy on the inside, all sorts of stuff. But again, we are making headway, and that's huge. I've got the next 10 days off from work, and I'm going to work my ass off the next 10 days. The goal is a stretch goal, but I think if I have some help from some friends and family and stuff like that, and if with these 10 days I'm going to take off, the goal is let's try to be moving ready to the main section of the house by the 4th of July. It is like May 16th or 17th right now. I can't remember which day it is, whatever day it is. Long story short, we're going to try to get moved into this house by the 4th of July. So I've got 10 days to really bust it. So wish me luck. Pray for us. We're going to get this thing done. I might not have anything left in the bank, and my emotional and mental drain might be gone, but we're going to get through this. So I cannot wait to get moved in this house so then I can actually get back to doing what I love, which is working on the sawmill, doing those type of videos. But I've got to focus on this. I got to get my family moved in, and that's what we've been working on. So that's why you haven't seen me recently. I've been trying to get more into it, but every time I do that, I'm taking away from where I need to be working here and getting my family into this house. So we'll see you around. Well, have a good one. If you need anything, if you have any questions and stuff like that, just let me know. But if anyone wants to help, I'm wide open if you want to come help. But no, this has been a great learning experience, and it's really tested my mental fortitude. So yeah. All right. We'll see you around. Thanks.